Hello, everyone. Welcome to Gen X Living Life. My name is Maggie.
And I'm Penny.
And today we're going to talk about 10 reasons the 1970s was more fun than today. But first, if you like this kind of content, please leave us a like and subscribe to our channel. So, without further ado, the first reason that the 1970s was more fun than today is that the TV shows back in the day were awesome.
They were very, very
Yep.
awesome.
And it was an era of a lot of family TV, such as Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, but also action oriented shows like Kojak, Charlie's Angels,
Six
um,
Million Dollar Man, Bionic Woman, some of my favorites.
and lots of reruns from the 60s. And that kept us occupied. And we watched TV a whole lot with either with our siblings or with our parents. And it was wholesome TV and very entertaining. And we always talked about it with our friends the next day about the episodes.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we would pretend to be, maybe Charlie's Angels or the Bionic Man or the Bionic Woman, like running across the the playground and things like
No, no,
that.
no, 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 no,
Yeah,
no, no, no,
make
no,
the
no, no, no,
sound.
no, no,
Yeah,
no, no.
exactly. Exactly. Yes, yes. Those were fun times.
You can't forget the sound
I
effects.
know, right? And the second thing was the music. It was amazing for that era. I mean, disco, there'll be
Yeah.
nothing, it's untouchable, unmatched. It's great. There's also heavy metal, soft rock, and then my favorite, funk and R&B. Great,
Yep.
great music.
We used to listen to that a whole lot Saturday afternoons
Hmm.
when the Soul Train was on.
And American Bandstand.
American Bandstand,
Hmm.
exactly. There was a lot of the top 40
Hmm.
music at that time as well, which was really good.
Right,
So
right. And the people
uh,
had to actually know how to sing back
that's
then.
right. There was no auto
There was
tune
no
or
auto
anything
tune,
else like
nothing.
that. Yep. So yeah, everybody that was famous for singing, they had talent.
They had talent, yeah,
They-
for
Yep.
sure.
So, well, number three, kids were kids and grown-ups were grown-ups. Uh, kids did kid things and didn't worry about adult matters. They were allowed to play. They had friendships. They had played games. They went to school, and none of the things that's going on today was a thing back then.
Hmm. Trying
So
to be
it was a
adults and
chance
trying
for
to,
us to grow up
yeah,
and develop naturally.
right, exactly. That's true. That's true.
Hmm.
And then number four, Saturday mornings were great. I spent it watching cartoons, monster
Oh yeah,
movies, and then at 3 o'clock was the kung fu movies. All
that's
great
right.
stuff.
All the kung fu movies with that
With
amazing
the
dubbing.
dubbing. And they still joke about it today, but it's great. It's so funny though. I mean, it's
It
just a
is,
part of it.
but, because those movies can be so intense
Hmm.
that they're ridiculous,
Yeah, yeah. But we loved it.
which made them a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, we ate that up.
Hmm.
So
We did.
that was a lot of fun. Saturday morning cartoons can't be beat. I mean, we had, I think, 3 hours
At
of
least solid.
nothing but that. And while our poor parents got to sleep in a little
Hmm.
bit
Hmm.
from
Yeah.
working long hours the whole week. So, but that was a kid's me time.
Hmm.
So those were fun times. Um, so number five, you could walk to your friend's house without supervision or having your parents take you there. As long as you told them where you were going and that you were home by a certain time, it didn't matter.
Right. No one was
You
really
could go there.
worried. It was safe. I mean, it was relatively safe.
It was relatively safe because, at least in our neighborhood, most people knew each other because you're passing by the same group of
Hmm.
people all the time. So people looked out for each other back then
Right, right,
more so
exactly.
than today.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and
so,
back then you knew your neighbors and
yeah,
you would just like your parents say be home at 5 o'clock. You'd be home at 5 o'clock. you know.
Exactly.
uh, and then number six, right? There were some great hangout places also. We had PAL, which I went to for a few years.
I did too.
YMCA,
Hmm.
yeah, the arcade, which was a lot of fun. You just bring a like a pocket full of quarters. You're set for
Oh
several
yeah,
hours, you know. Um,
exactly.
Skating rinks, ice skate, roller skating, very big in the day. You know, we had
Very
Woolman
big.
Rink. You know, we had, oh, it was great. I know.
There
Um,
was always somewhere that we could go, wasn't
yeah,
there?
yeah, bowling. What else? There's so many like, and also baseball games. Back then, they were so
Hmm.
affordable. You know, it's just a few
Yeah,
dollars to get the nosebleed seats. Now, I mean, it's it's a small fortune.
it's it's big business now.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
is. And
So
yeah, we
if
had the.
it's yeah, so the average teenager, or older teenager, maybe with a part-time job, that might be uh, a few weeks of working just to afford the seats,
Yeah.
the nosebleed seats.
Yep, exactly. And then it was also Central Park, which is free. You
Hmm.
know, Clinton Park. You know, the
Oh
parks.
yeah, you
Go
go to the park, meet up with your
ride
friends,
our
and there was
bikes.
the playground,
Hmm.
or the nice paths,
Hmm.
and it was always something to do, somewhere to go. It's very limited now. It seems like nowadays you have to drive to get somewhere. There wasn't a local anything.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, I was a member of the PAL and also the YMCA, and it was a lot of fun. It was something to do. It kept you occupied, kept kids out of
It's out of
trouble.
trouble. That's the big thing.
So,
Right.
and thank goodness for volunteers that would take their time and be there to help kids out and teach them
Hmm.
new skills and also you know watch out for them, make sure that they're doing okay. So it was a nice place to go.
Yeah.
But even if you went to the corner candy store, to get soda or something like that, you can meet up with your
Hmm.
friends there. There was always somewhere you could go.
Yeah.
Today, it just seems, I don't know if it's because of sprawl, but it seems more limited these days.
Stranger danger.
Yeah,
A lot of that.
exactly. Yeah. So, number seven, kids could ride their bikes with their friends for hours
Yeah.
and
In
also
traffic.
drink from in traffic. And as long, and somehow they know how to keep safe. They know how to watch out for themselves, watch out for traffic, watch out for each other.
Yeah.
So kids were a bit more responsible back in the day, so they took a lot of risks, but they knew the consequences. That sometimes witness a consequence, but you could get out there and be free and be a kid and play, ride your bike,
No
and
helmets at that time.
yeah,
No
no
safety
helmets.
gear.
But did
Right.
it, it's people. They were careful enough, I guess.
And then we get to number eight, which is our activities on rainy days. I don't know if you remember playing The Floor is Lava. You know, you
Yeah,
just climb all over the furniture, make a mess of the house, you know, and just, yeah, it was fun. That was the fun thing. And then we would also read or
yeah.
watch TV, things like that. I know.
Or play pretend.
A lot of that. We used our
Pretend or dress
imagination.
up, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. You remember when we talked about that, I always played the dad,
Yeah.
so we kind
Hmm.
of, games like that, and
Hmm.
sometimes quiet games like, board games or word search or coloring, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. So, but we used our imagination, and we didn't have electronics
Hmm.
and screen time,
Right.
uh, except for television.
Yeah.
Which we had a lot of screen time with television, don't get us wrong, that
Exactly.
was a thing, but also when there was nothing on television, there wasn't always stuff on television we
Yeah.
wanted to see,
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Like
we
we
would
didn't have any, you know, DVD recordings you know, nothing like that. So it was just
so
whatever
you
they
had
played
to
on the TV is what you watched. Yeah.
mhm, and if you don't wanna watch it and you were bored, you did something else,
Hmm. Yeah.
and we can entertain ourselves
Right. We
as
weren't
well.
bored. Hmm.
Mhm, yep.
Right.
So number 9, we learned to socialize without having to use cell phones and without the use of social media. Social media didn't come about until about maybe what, 10 years ago?
Yeah,
If
I would say 10, 15 years
maybe
ago.
15
Maybe
years ago
15. Yeah,
tops.
yeah.
Yeah. And so up until then, we made phone calls from our house with a cord. So it wasn't like you could carry the phone around anywhere you went.
Right.
So if you were making a phone call, you were tethered to that unit. Um, so we would make phone calls. We learned uh, in grade school, we learned how to write letters. I don't know if in your class they had pen
We
pals.
had pen pals, yeah. Even in
Yeah.
elementary school, we had it. Yeah.
Yeah, we had pen pals at elementary school.
Mhm.
And so we learned how to write letters
Yeah,
and
not
we would write a
emails.
letter
Not
and,
emails.
and send a picture. Yeah. And so I was terrible at it. But I remember the name of the girl. She lived in upstate New York and her name was Tammy.
Hmm.
Um, and I remember that. And so we wrote maybe for maybe a few months, but that was how you socialize with people. You would send postcards, you would send letters, you would make phone calls, and then you'd meet up. Um, and we learned that in school as well. You make friends at school, and yeah, maybe there were cliques back then too, but there would be at least a circle of friends, even a small circle of friends. Not everybody had to be popular. The
Yeah.
people that were popular aren't that many of them. So
Yeah, and if you wanted to do something over the weekend, you made plans on Friday after, at school. Okay, we'll meet you at the park on Sunday at this time. And we met at that
exactly.
time. It wasn't, anything difficult.
And if you're going to call somebody, you would tell them when you were going to call.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that way you would be there when they call. So you don't impromptu pick up the phone.
Hmm. Hmm.
You make an
Right.
appointment to make a phone
To make
call
a phone call.
because you had to be home to answer the phone.
There was no phone voicemail, no, nothing.
Mm-mm. Right, right.
Okay, so now that brings us to number 10. There were no cell phones, so there were no videos of us doing dumb things. I never did
Oh my
anything
God.
dumb.
I was a good girl.
I never did anything dumb. So, but yeah, I mean, that's
I
just,
may have done dumb things, but there's no proof.
there's no proof of it. Prove it. Prove it. Good luck.
Nope.
Anyway, well, anyway, those are our 10 things of why the 70s was more fun than today. Let us know if you agree or not. Uh, Give us a like, a comment, subscribe. Very important. Um, Thanks for joining us. And just look for us on social media also. Thank you.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.